Happy Tuesday, little Frida. Frida Reba Darcy and Patricia O'Connor here, and I'm a little out of sync. It's a Tuesday, not our Wednesday drop, but it's a Tuesday. But we have a break in the weather, and I thought I would do some getting while the getting is good, as they say. Everything is just really kind of reaching out and loving this this weather. It feels kind of like a spring day after all that rain. Our temperature is probably in the high 50s, low 60s, maybe mid 60s. It could be that high, but I still have on a sweater and a little scarf, and it's still a little breezy out. But after all the rain yesterday, and then the sun pops out today, everything is just showing so much vigor. I just had to grab the camera and come running. Look at all this stuff just popping out. The pines are back on their perches where they can hang out now. When the next rains come through, possibly tomorrow or the next day, they'll at least be on the right side of a watering schedule to where they wouldn't have been soaking wet for going on 2 weeks. There's a nice little after shot of the cork bark black pine after we did our repot. I'm just seeing new growth everywhere, and I'm really happy about it. Even the little plugs that I was worried about losing there have little shoots seem to coming out of the end of them. My trident maple is finally dying back some for the winter, but at the same time, at no time did it ever stop making those tiny little prolific little bud shoots always. I just watered my wisterias, and I just watered my small cypress, and I just watered my bougainvillea. I guess I should probably give some water to my Chinese wisteria. This wisteria is is blue, I was told when I bought it. Haven't seen it bloom yet. It's probably about 8 or 9 years old. It's not really all of that, and I do have it in a slightly oversized pot. My idea was just to be absolutely fine with the two of those together as it develops and kind of grows into that. I probably should have went with the smaller container first, but I thought I bought that container for that tree. I did. So that was my art idea early on, and I'm fine with all of that. I just would like to see it bloom. But yeah, maybe this year. Although I don't think I see the little buds that would become. Maybe they come later on the Chinese variety. But anyway, the Dawn Redwood is it's looking pretty nice. It's in between. It's still got a lot of green on it for December. Yeah, and I'm finally starting to lose the leaves. Hopefully for the last time on my trident maple. So if I have any work to do to this, so if I want to do any work to this tree this winter, hopefully I'll get some time where it's dormant. My little starter tree, my little 2-year-old tree, I'm really happy with the way it's looking. It's got new growth all over it, and I'm learning a lot from it. I'm pretty happy. I just had to. This inspired me so much. I had to go grab the camera. I'm just really happy with my cork bark oak. It was one of those trees that earlier this year was showing some signs of some sort of pestilence. Never really sure what that ended up being, but I am really happy with the way it has responded, and I'm also really happy with the branch selection and the movement that I have going currently. I am really feeling like when it comes to this tree, I am on a track. I'm on a trajectory that I like. I like it already. It'll just get better from here to my way of thinking. I want to see those branches have more ramification, but right now I'm really happy with their movement. I may not even trim some of those back as much as I originally thought. Those are going to be beautiful the way they are. So if they ramify from there, I don't really know that I would dislike that. Maybe this one should get cut. So I don't know. Maybe I should just think about, oh, that's what it is. I think it's straightened out. I need to put my movement back in it. That's what's wrong with that one. My coastal oak, it's just been hanging out in the rain the last couple of days, and it is just acting as if it's spring. My cypress aren't. They are acting as if it's winter and going into their winter colors. But my coastal oak, and here's some of the work that I'd been doing. I took my side cutters and I worked on this angle a little more, and I worked on this edge a little more. I didn't chew too much, if any at all, on the rollover that's there, although some people do. They will take the rollover and take a box knife and make that inside edge raw again. The theory being that it will heal faster, that it will go forward faster, I guess. That's the way I put it, that way. So yeah, and I just naturally settle back on that. And then here's my other Japanese wisteria. When I was talking about I don't see all the buds that are going to be blooms next year. Some of those little nodules you see on there are next year's blooms, and some of those are going to be next year's shoots. And on the Chinese, you could see that really well on this one as well. But on the Chinese wisteria behind me, you don't see that as much. Now, I think on my last video, I wasn't really kidding around when I was talking about sweet potato here and how well it was doing. I kind of watered it a third less than I was watering one of my other trees. And the first thing that I noticed is not a third less. I would say I was probably taking a little less of a bite than that, but I was watering it notably less than I was watering my other trees. And the first thing that I noticed was it seemed to respond favorably to that. I became aware of the trees you don't like as well, if they're doing better. So this is my Chinese wisteria. It's doing great. This is some overage. These are Japanese wisteria clones that I threw in a planter. They're way down here on the ground. They were going to be on that rail, and the landlord said, no way, Jose. So I took a couple of them and turned them into bonsai, and I took some of the ones that I didn't have any idea for, and I stuck them underneath here, and they're thriving down there. I mean, it's the time of year for everything to die back, but I water them when I water these, and they're not the ones getting the most care, but they are the ones that are doing exactly what I had talked about doing when I first started this. If you want a tree to get really big and large and fatten up in a few years without, quickly, plant it in your yard. If you don't have a yard, go up with the container, or put the container in a container with some soil in the bottom of them and let the roots run out of the bottom. All of those things, all of those little cheats are incentives for trees to vigorously exploit their growing space. And to that end, that's a good trick. You can already see where these guys being neglected down here. They get fed when the other trees get fed. They get watered when the other trees get watered. I never look at them. I never check on them. I never, they're getting the light from that, and they're getting less of it because they're down there on the floor and they're hid underneath the shelf, but they still get a lot of direct light. and the leaves are just for this time of year. The leaves on those, and a lemon cypress that I found in the back seat of my car during bringing somebody home from a Christmas party last year when I drove for Lyft. Those are all. That's the island of misfit toys, and if you start to notice that if your tree's on the back burner, or that's kind of what I meant by if the trees you don't love as much are doing better than the ones you love a lot. Maybe you're loving them. Maybe you're squeezing your babies a little too hard. Ponderosas. This little ponderosa doesn't get near as much water as the other trees in this tray, but I do not feel like that pot dries out as quickly, and I'm pretty sure it does not get as hot in that tray. I do know that this cypress loves that tray, and I do know that that bougainvillea really loves that tray, and to that end I have my cement tub that I've done a couple of repottings in. It's got some flat river rocks, and it's got some used akadama in it. I'm thinking about, it occurred to me last night just before I went to sleep, that if I were to start putting that in here, it would give a natural looking base for everything to sit in. I don't think it would age the copper anymore, having bonsai soil and river rocks in the bottom of this tray any more than having the copper. It would also look natural, and it would give the roots something to escape out into if they wanted to. So that was last night's idea, and don't be surprised if you start seeing this. I could get those leaves out of there, but I'm not really worried about it right now. But don't be surprised if you start seeing some of my old bonsai mix and some really flat looking river rocks laying in amongst that. That might be cool. I don't think it'll cause me problems. I think it would be cool. So this is 12 minutes. Oh, we can probably, I haven't watered my large trees yet. Let's just, while I'm voguing here, this ponderosa is so awesome. I think you can see the new little growth coming out on its little tips there. Okay. Large watering jug. This grouping gets one of these a day, every day. It's not the most labor-intensive bonsai trees in the world, but I don't think there's ever a reason to not water a cypress tree. You can see I saved a little, but I'll probably use it later when I come back in 3 hours and I can see where the top of the soil has gotten dry, where the roots have sucked that water up and transpired it through even those beat up leaves. I'll give it another soaking. We've grown a lot this year. I can see all the swelling in these bases. It's gotten pretty impressive. The cavities in this trunk have gotten deeper and bigger. I'm really happy to see all of that. This guy's is putting on some stuff. If I go back, I can already see how much the bases have grown in the short time that I've had them. This is the amount of rollover from the cut I made in that trunk. And this is my cut. So when I got this tree, it did have a flat chop there. And I had seen a photograph, I think it was on the guy's Grammarly page, where the tree at one point had the main trunk might have been this tall. He cut it back to here to start his tree, and then a couple of years later sold it to me. I did that chop, and away we go. Wish us luck. So that's got us there. And everything looks really good on the rail. Our sky is blue and really pretty, and the sun is very bright, and the breeze is probably about 10, 12 knots. Very cool breeze, but it's other than that, it's sunny and warm. Nobody at the pool today, but it would be too breezy. I think you'd be fine in the water. You'd be cold, the part of you that was out of the water. So yeah, this is us in between the floods. Enjoy your Tuesday. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Frida and I will be doing this for a minute, and I look forward to more trees and more space and more projects on our little bonsai balcony. Thanks for watching.